Shwmai, croeso, hello and welcome to the Bluebirds Nest, Neath yr Adar Gleision, which, as always, sponsored by Dragon Bet. Please take a look, dragonbet.co.uk for all your up-to-date Cymru Premier and all the other sports betting markets available. But please do remember to gamble aware, please gamble responsibly. So this week, episode 16, obviously the last one before the World Cup. We've got an invaluable member of the team with us. So the team behind the team, I'll say, at Haverfordwest County is the club's media officer, Tom Pritchard. Tom, welcome.
Thanks, right. Evening. Pleasure to be on.
So we've spoken about you coming on for a long time. There's lots to talk about. But first, we'll get into your sort of background then. So obviously an avid sports fan. You love watching a lot of football and alongside sort of local, regional and national rugby too. I suppose you're most active yourself in playing cricket for Neyland. Now, I was thinking about this the last few days. We started our pre-season July the 12th, I think it was. And we've not actually spoken about this, but that must have been quite tricky throughout the summer months, juggling your cricket commitments and obviously coming home and away with the Bluebirds. So did you get to play much this summer?
Yeah, so it ended up okay in the end, to be fair. I sort of knew, obviously, when I started the role with the club that it was going to be clashing. But yeah, as the way it turned out, I sort of managed to play most of the games because cricket season starts, I think it was last week of April. So we started then. So I managed to play all the way up until July. Could still play through pre-season was fine because obviously the games are in the week, other than the Swansea 23s game, I think. So, but I worked out okay because like last month this season, I saw my body tends to just break down. So ended up okay. Like I didn't mind the break then, but no, it was okay. It was good. It was good to balance that really.
Much success?
No, actually, no. It was we have been probably the best team in the county for the last 10 years, but last year was just crazy in terms of availability or lack of it. So yeah, seconds who I mainly played for got relegated. Yeah, there was weddings galore and just everything just didn't go right. So we'll be back on it next season. But yeah, first didn't win the league, seconds got relegated, but it is what it is.
On 2023 then, I suppose.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, for those watching along on the YouTube channel, we can see you sporting a lovely Movember tash there. But that's coming alongside, part of lots of different fundraising efforts this month, particularly with the off-field staff at the club. You've all been busy out running this month. So how did that come about?
Yeah, it was actually a bit of a last-minute thing, really. I think it was the last day of October. I think Tony Panic messaged me just to sort of ask for some coverage, really, because he was doing it, the run for Prostate United, because he'd done it last year with Hull. I'm not sure why I spare at the moment. I just said I was with Wyndham. I said, oh yeah, we'll both do it. I think my last run was 2 years ago in lockdown, so it was a stupid decision, really, doing 90k this month, but. Yeah, we both agreed to do that, and there's quite a few of us at the club now have done it, and obviously the halfway mark today. So it's been going great so far, still going along. But yeah, it's great to be involved with everyone.
So that's a daily 3K, is that right, or 5K?
Yeah, I think it's optional. I think Pens did 5K last year, but I think we've all agreed 3K. Yeah, I couldn't do much more than that, really. But
no, fair play. It's good effort. And I've seen from the online fundraising portal, you're almost 80% of the £1,000 target now too. So fair play for that. If anybody does want to support the fundraising efforts of obviously first team manager Pens, vice chairman Julian, secretary Julie, goalkeeping coach Devs, physio Tristan, community manager Wyndham, and yourself, Tom, in those efforts, please visit the link on screen to donate. Okay, let's get stuck into your day-to-day life at the club then. Club media officer. Now, this is something that perhaps, 10 years ago probably wasn't really as vital as it is nowadays, but it's hard to remember those times when social media, you weren't going on there tracking fixtures, results, and keeping in check with your, the clubs you follow and other local clubs. It's become, really crucial, even at grassroots level. Obviously, you're well equipped in the role. First class honours degree in sports journalism just 2 years ago, I think. And
2 years.
So you've been at the club 14 months or just over 14 months now. How have you found it then? Everything you were expecting or?
Yeah, well, it's been roller coaster, isn't it? It's been, in terms of on the field stuff. Obviously had a general idea of what to expect, because when I applied, but yeah, it's been crazy, really, ups and downs. But yeah, overall, like fantastic experience. I think in terms of like a first proper rollout since graduating. It's not one of the football league clubs or anything like that, but I think it's been a great first role. Cymru Prem club traveling around Wales, it's been fantastic. I'm lucky with timing really in terms of the club getting back into the Cymru Prem. That was great. But yeah, it's been great to be involved with everyone. Loads of great people behind the scenes. And yeah, mainly just thanks to Rob, really, isn't it? Since he came in, and obviously this role didn't exist. Obviously, you had someone on social media, but he's obviously taken that a lot seriously and realised that it's an important role. So yeah, I've enjoyed every second of it, really. Even if we're winning, losing, it's been a great ride so far.
So far, yeah, exactly. It's interesting because I remember back, I think it must have been the 14-15 season when obviously we were going for promotion. We were battling. To be honest, it was a battle for second place that season. Cardiff Met on ourselves because Kyra Ely, I think, if memory serves correctly, they'd annihilated everyone in the league that year. They'd done really well, comfortably won by number of points, but they didn't have their license for promotion. So it was us and Cardiff Met basically going for the promotion again through the second sort of runner-up spot. Weirdly, we'd gone to Aberdeen that autumn that season, and as we arrived, the ref called the pitch unplayable with the frost. So it just happened to be, I don't know how this got through sort of FAW level, but the season finished on a Saturday, but we still had a game to play on the Monday night. This is 7-8 years ago now. And we had to go to Aberdeen and win by 5 clear goals. And the guy who was in charge of social media that year, he was a board member at the time. He'd tend to put half-time tweets and full-time tweets up and do it sporadically, I suppose. It wasn't a full-time gig, certainly what to the level you're doing. But I was asked by a couple of mates more than anything, do us a favour, chuck a couple of tweets out. Will you keep us updated with how we're getting on? So, of course, I'm sat in the dugout. Luckily, I wasn't needed on the pitch much at all, if I remember. I was sat there sort of tweeting every couple of minutes. We're 1-0 up. I think Luke Borelli scored the first. Then Steph Will scored shortly after. Well, obviously, lo and behold, we got the result. We got the 5-0. And I just think my social media notifications were just my battery. How the battery survived that night, I don't know. They were coming in fast. But I think the point I'm trying to make is obviously everyone at the game that night, and I speak to Scotch too, so obviously Elliot Scotcher about this regularly because he was one of the Cardiff Met players at the time, and they were there and they saw the game pan out. It is what it is. But I had a fair bit of abuse that night, if I'm honest, from people across Wales who obviously weren't at the game, who were saying it's a fix, you've bought it, you've bribed them, etc. And it was quite eye-opening at some of the messages, not just publicly, but inboxes as well, saying all sorts of things. But it's the club's at a different level now of communication, and you're putting those messages out. How do you manage that? I suppose and that sort of I suppose abuse and messages coming through, Tom.
Yeah, I guess a lot of it is just with experience, really. You kind of know that's what happens on social media anyway, so you kind of it's not a surprise. Yeah, I guess a lot of it. Well, nothing really is ever directed at me, so that kind of takes it away a bit. It's nothing personal, but you obviously don't like to see anything being said towards a club because feel part of it and everything. But yeah, I guess obviously I've probably got quite good at just after I put my laptop away or put my phone down or close Twitter down or whatever, Facebook, I'm able to just kind of forget it. If it was something personal, perhaps it would stick around for a bit longer, but it's kind of like in that moment I see it and it's like, oh, that's not great, but okay, that's as far as it goes. If there's any way I can respond or help people out or just correct something, it's good to do that just to, give some good communications. But yeah, I think I'm just able to just experience with it now, really, and just forget about it after it's done. No
doubt you draft a couple of responses and then think better and delete them. No doubt.
Yeah, all the time.
I must admit, I find it remarkable how quick you are with your posting, and like I said that night, I was just putting like literally Borelli 1-0, Williams 2-0, and so forth throughout the evening. You put really comprehensive detail into the posts, and visuals as well, so graphics, GIFs, images, and things like that. It's so where do you sort of watch the game from during home and away games? Where are you, and how are you doing all this sort of quick turnaround?
Yeah, so home games, I'm in the main stand. Obviously we have the press box at the back there now, which is great. Really, it's probably the best in the league, to be fair. From even some of the bigger clubs I've gone to, it's like very long little electric sockets. And it's a great view, halfway line. So that's where I am on home games. Away is kind of wherever. Some grounds do have better or have press areas, so I'm there. Usually pretty good, but yeah, that's where I am, and yeah, it's a great view of the league, really, of the game. Sorry, and yeah, a lot. It's just experience, really. I think I sort of remember a lot of when I first started doing this, and it was I probably would try and explain too much or write too much, because you're conscious of you want to describe the info as best as possible. But yeah, I think I've just managed to get more concise now, and yeah, the best way really is if you look in terms of play-by-play updates. That's kind of the best tip of that. It's just I have most of it copied into a tweet anyway, and it's just in terms of the scoreline, minutes of the game, the hashtags, etc. And it's just a case of updating them. But yeah, again, that's similar, just experience, really.
No, fair play. You're doing a good job. Doing a good job, and I think certainly social media nowadays, it's responsive. You've got to be so quick off the mark with a lot of things, but yet creative and I suppose as professional as possible. Certainly when you're posting from a club account and things like that. Obviously, this week, Ashton United, I think I'm right in saying, the Northern Premier League, put that cheeky tweet up about Haaland. They've made an official approach for Haaland going on loan. I think Sky Sports were telling me earlier that they've now got 20,000 new followers. I'd imagine the majority of those new followers hadn't even heard of them before, but it just goes to show how something, I suppose, a lot of thought goes into something that's probably quite small, but it can just, blow up, I suppose, well, in a positive and a negative way. So, I suppose you must spend a lot of your time on your phone, on your Twitters and things like that, sort of gauging what's going on in the world, do you?
Yeah, it's just one of those roles, really. Like it's that you're never really fully switched off. Even if I'm not posting anything on the account or on the social media channels, like you're always on them anyway, looking at stuff and probably thinking of ideas sometimes and planning stuff in your head. Yeah, that's that thing with Ashton. That's just like social media in a nutshell, really. It's just some of the stuff that you end up spending 2 hours on making and then post it and perhaps it doesn't go down so well, and something like that can just explode. It's just it's soul destroying, really. But
yeah, I was going to say, and then you got Rob winding you up then probably saying, well, that didn't work when it gets 3 likes.
Yeah, he's got plenty of ideas.
To be fair, most of the posts you put up, the ideas and the responses, again, just this week with I think there was a gentleman on Twitter who posted about wanting to meet and connect with new people, on a social aspect. And the club almost reached out to say, well, you're more than welcome to come and visit the club and engage with the supporters association and things like that. And to be, like I said, you're spot on in the way that you portray the club, and the communication streams are excellent. Fair play with that. Keep it up, I suppose. Right, quick fire questions now then. And again, this was something we've done on every episode, but being as we are now just days away from the big kickoff of the World Cup, there are a couple of World Cup ones thrown into. So I suppose over that 14 months, I look back, the time I've been involved back with the club, there's been all sorts of campaigns and things going on. Have you got a favourite campaign or post or anything that you've been involved in?
Yeah, there's probably a couple that stand out. I think when Nicky Hyam was appointed sort of Christmas time last year, that was just a crazy period, really. It was just great to be involved in. It was still sort of the Christmas period as well, so you're kind of just enjoying that sort of time. But then this comes about out of nowhere. It was just having to react to stuff. Just come up with the idea that I did in the end was with a Football Manager video, which luckily went down really well. That was just very much just thinking on the hoof kind of thing. That was great to be involved. Like it helped the club massively, and new followers, new people following, which is what it's all about, really. Like I just want to raise the profile of the club. If that's what I'm doing, great. And then another one, perhaps not a campaign as such, but it's just everything that went out during the time of the Nest, of us having the hub in town. That was just it was just a win-win really. It was just a great period for us, and it was great to be involved with that and posting stuff and seeing people engage with that on social media, obviously in person as well. But yeah, everything around that, from the opening to everything that we had there, was just was brilliant really.
Excellent. Okay, and now I suppose it doesn't have to include your time, your sort of role, but have you got favourite moments over the time, perhaps on the field favourite moments?
Yeah, well, the one probably was it 10 days ago now. That's got to be right up there. The win at Flint, in terms of after the game, was one of those you knew that it was. If we were gonna win that game, it was going to be brilliant. Afterwards, the long bus trip, and from my personal view as well, that was probably the first sort of big North Wales away win since I've joined, and it's been over a year I've been at the club now, and I think we did win at Kevin Druids last year. I think with the way they were going in the league, and we went down in the league as much as we were at the minute, so it was kind of good win. But yeah, nothing compared to Flint the other day.
It was a good trip. I'll be honest, I've had some excellent footage of some singing on the bus, should we say, that we'll keep for a rainy day on that trip. But yeah, no, that's up there. And it's funny, for me, the 6-0 away win at Aber kind of stands out because we'd had a bit of a bumpy patch, and then all of a sudden it seemed to be clicking. And I didn't realise, but you mentioned that was the only away game you missed at the tail end of last season, and you missed it. So hopefully we can get a couple more big wins on the road in the future.
Yeah, that was I had my graduation the next day. I did actually miss the Kevin Druids one as well, the 6-1 up there again later on. I think I had COVID, so that was. So it was good to get the win.
If you're not coming, there's a big win incoming then.
yeah, I think I might just stay away from Airbus now, I think.
A tough one for you now then. I know you've got great relationships with all of the squad. A 5-a-side question, the dream team of players, could include staff as well, I will say, but from the club, during your 14 months, what's your 5-a-side team?
Yeah, I did have quite a good think about this one just to make sure I got it right. Luckily, I'm able to. I did want to get staff and players in as well, but I guess with having Pens around, it's quite easy to get a staff member in there, get him in goals. I think he didn't do in his career in the sticks, did he? So yeah, we'll have Tony in there. Probably have, say, 2 defenders, 2 midfielders, and a striker. Defenders, I was thinking of going with Jazz for obvious reasons. No explanation needed there, really. I probably have Abu there as well, Risa Brazassi. He's been class since he's come in. I think 5-a-side, he'd be suited to that as well. Defending and attacking, bit of creativity as well. Him and Jazz at the back. Not too shabby. Midfield, I think you have to have Henry in there, really. I think 5-a-side, tight spaces, someone like him, quick feet, bit of creativity as well. Bit of a flair player, I think I'd like to have him in there. Alongside Henry in midfield. I'll get Harry in there, I think. I think he's the man at the moment. I think every team has to have Harry in at the minute, so yeah, we'll get him in there. Can't leave him out. Similar style to Henry, really, just a stylish player and good for 5-a-side. And probably stick Jordan up top then. I think he'd love to be in there. And he can also drop into midfield as well, and quite flexible, but yeah, I think good poacher as well, good 5-a-side player.
Nice. He'd be happy with another inclusion in the dream team. I know that.
Yeah.
Going on to the World Cup then. So obviously just a couple of days away from it all kicking off out in Qatar. What's your first memories of watching the World Cup, Tom?
Yeah, my first would have been 2006. That was in Germany, I think, wasn't it? I do remember a tournament for the Euro 2004. I remember bits of. Yeah, first World Cup was 2006. Seem to remember Miroslav Klose had a great tournament, as he seemed to do in every World Cup. Remember him scoring a few goals, Michael Ballack, people like that. Obviously the final then was the big moment with the headbutt, which everyone remembers. So that was my first World Cup, and one of the better ones, to be fair.
Yeah, that was the next question. Is that your favourite ever so far?
Yeah, I guess obviously I only have that, and then for the 2010, 14, and 18 to choose from for my lifetime, I'd probably go for Russia, just because that's the one. Obviously 2006, I didn't watch all of it. Also, there's moments I mentioned there, but in terms of watching a full World Cup, South Africa The Vuvuzelas just annoyed me. That was just, yeah, don't remember that being a great tournament. Like Brazil had its moments, but yeah, I think Russia. Yeah, I think it surprised a lot of people, but not everyone was kind of perhaps looking forward to it as such. But I think it turned out to be a great tournament in the end. Was it 6 goals in the final? So yeah, so far, hopefully this one coming up now will top it. But I think so far probably Russia.
So far, yeah, I like that. Hopefully this one becomes a fond favourite.
Mm.
Yeah, what do you think of Wales' chances then?
Yeah, I'm just so optimistic. I think Wales it's just been a hell of a ride for the last 6 years or so. And again, we're going into it as underdogs as we have been since then, but probably even more so with this being a World Cup and the first one for so long. But yeah, I think the group isn't the worst for us. It's obviously not easy. You're not going to get that at a World Cup, but I think USA and Iran, I think it's the way they've scheduled our games as well, could work in our favour. Having England up last. Fingers crossed there's nothing on, there may not be anything on that game, but I think I'm optimistic, and I think if we get out of the group, then it's kind of luck of the draw as such. I'm not sure who we can draw 100%, but at that point the pressure is just completely off us, and I just think we're so dangerous at that point then.
Yeah, I agree. I think if we get out of the group, would be a phenomenal achievement, and who knows? I think Senegal potentially would be a last 16 opponent, but again, anything can happen in that group, etc. But yeah, fingers crossed then. So hopefully Wales go really deep into the tournament. But if we don't end up winning it, who's your pick?
Yeah, I hadn't actually thought about that one too much until earlier this week. I did one of those sort of bracket things that the challenges people are doing. So only then have I actually seen like who can end up probably playing who, and I think I ended up coming out with Argentina, which is not a massively controversial one. I think they're probably second or third favourites. Yeah, and I wouldn't mind seeing them win it anyway. Not even so much with the Messi thing, but I think they're favourites even without that. I think it's a great team, and their form in the last couple of years has been great as well. I think they hammered Italy in that sort of that game. They played at Wembley, and I think obviously they're there or thereabouts anyway. But I think, yeah, you're also looking at them or Brazil. But yeah, I think for the Messi thing would be pretty nice to see if it's not Wales.
I think I mentioned this last time, and I have had it confirmed. If he plays every game, the final would be his 1,000th appearance on a football pitch. So that would be some way to potentially, cap off an unbelievable career. So, yeah, I can't see Argentina being too far away. I'm hoping personally that it's France. I've been drawing them in 2 sweepstakes, so I'm backing them all the way now. I could be counting some coins come the end of December. Okay, quick predictions league update now then. Dan Salmon will be pleased to know he's still top of the league with 26 points. It is getting really close. Dion and Roland, as you can see, are catching up, hot on the tails. Notable mentions further down for Barry Webb and obviously one of last week's podcast guests, Matt Hilliker. They've both had considerable jumps up the league. I'm sure we'll be right up in the mix at the top soon. The next fixtures to predict will be across the 2nd and 3rd of December. So there'll be 2 weeks to think about it. But obviously, keep an eye on your emails. Tom here will obviously be sending those emails out to you to remind you about the predictions closer to the time. Before that, though, obviously before the World Cup, we have one more fixture to go. We head back up to Flintshire this weekend, a 2:30 kickoff at the Airfield, where we face Airbus UK Broughton. Obviously under new management, former Cymru Premier striker Jamie Reid in charge there now. He got his first win last weekend, I think, Tom, didn't he, in the Welsh Cup?
Yeah.
I personally have got great memories going up to Airbus last season and getting our own win in the Welsh Cup up there. But what are your thoughts going to Airbus this weekend?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. Another big game for us. I'm hoping for a win just because obviously the Welsh Cup game last year I was at, but the way I had a cricket presentation on the same night, so I had to drive up, so missed out on the bus thing on the way back, and yeah, kind of just took a bit out of the day really. It was a long drive up there and back, but yeah, this game Saturday, I'm quite confident. I think it was really important that we got that win against Flint. Not taking the pressure off, but it's just giving us confidence and that first away win of the season, especially in North Wales and going back there now. I think the way we beat Flint as well, I think it was obviously not stylish or anything like that, but I think we showed that we've got a real, good good solid setup away from home, and it was good to win ugly, and I think that's what you need in the league. Yeah, obviously with our attacking players as well, I think they can click in any game. So I think, yeah, based off the last result, I'm confident ahead of Saturday.
Fingers crossed for the 3 points then. You'll be obviously on matchday coverage again then. So for those of us unable to travel up this weekend, you can catch all the live tweeting across the club's Twitter page. Well, obviously Tom's play-by-play coverage will be going out there. After this weekend's game, as I mentioned, then we go into a World Cup break from fixtures, where we are next then playing against Pembrokeshire at the Oggy Bridge Meadow. I love a Friday night fixture, so I'm looking forward to that one. Tom, you're obviously going to be, I'm assuming, watching a lot of World Cup football now then over the next 2 weeks. Anything else going on at the club?
Yeah, so it won't be fully stopping. Obviously we'll be doing stuff on social media, and there'll be bits going out shortly. Obviously I'll still be kept busy with doing the runs for the rest of the month now. Hopefully be covering a few World Cup games as well. I do a bit of coverage for Flash Score now and again, so hopefully doing a few games there. Yeah, there's a couple of good things coming up at the club now. During the World Cup in the next fortnight or so. So yeah, people can keep an eye on that. There'll be some good stuff going out. We're not just fully shutting down. The club's going to be open as much as it is all the time, and obviously we've put out recently about all the World Cup games are going to be shown there as well. So the club's open for people to drop into. So the bar will be open, food available as well. So hoping to see it busy over the next few weeks.
Brilliant. I was going to say 10 o'clock kickoffs on the Madry is going to take some effort from those heading down. But no, I think that's a great initiative, another great initiative, I must say, from the club to open the doors for people to come down and get together. I know a lot of the supporters association have said that they're going to come to the club to see a lot of the Wales games. So hopefully we can have a full clubhouse for those fixtures in particular. But then up on the 3rd of December, I think I've seen Wyndham on the social media quite a bit recently, heading up to the pavilion for the Leeds Legends night. Is that? I think it's the 3rd. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, the 3rd. Yeah, the day after the Pembrokeshire game. We have the Paul Reaney and Eddie Gray, who both played probably close to 1,000 games for Leeds. They're both coming down, along with a guy called Jed Stone, who's a comedian. He'll be hosting the night as well. So yeah, there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes, mainly with Wyndham organising stuff. It's mad, really, but it's getting there. And yeah, fingers crossed. We've had great ticket sales so far. Loads of people interested. Obviously, loads of Leeds fans down in Pembrokeshire. So yeah, really looking forward to it. And it's during the World Cup as well, so there'll be that sort of buzz going on. So looking forward to it, really.
Good stuff. So are there tickets still available for that?
Yeah, they're going to be kept on sale pretty much for the next few weeks now. They're on Ticket Pass, which you can't really miss the links, really. The ticket link on our website, which is normally where we sell match tickets, that currently takes you to the Ticket Pass website where you can buy everything from. I think it's also on our pinned tweet, and there's plenty of stuff on Facebook as well. So yeah, links are being posted every day, so just you have to keep an eye on them.
Get involved, and I look forward to that. Excellent. That's bringing us to a close. And Tom, the Bluebirds Nest podcast will also be going into a bit of a break over the next few weeks, so everyone can enjoy the World Cup. So for now, Tom, I suppose thank you for your time, mate. I know you're really busy with everything, and come on, Wales.
I'm Ryan Cymru. Thank you for having me on.